Okay, so how many of you made New Year's resolutions to exercise and eat healthy? Okay, I'm not going to ask if you've been successful in your resolutions, but intuitively we know that exercise and nutrition have better health outcomes, right? And so for people who are diagnosed with cancer, there's research-based evidence that exercise and nutrition have a huge impact on side effects. Now, if you know someone who's had cancer, you know these side effects all too well. Well, and for me, I know through my work that this year, 14 million people around the world will hear the words, "You have cancer." And by the year 2020, there'll be 18 million cancer survivors in the US. So, my name is Kathy Skinner, and I'm the CEO and founder of Thrivors. 20 years ago, cancer came to my house when my dad was diagnosed with a rare blood cancer, and his diagnosis has set me on the course to work in the cancer community. I've had the privilege of working with almost 400 patients face-to-face, and men, women, all types of cancer, and their stories, their needs, and the gap in care is what inspired us to launch Thrivors. So I was told I really need to emphasize the technology just a little bit. So we're built on Amazon Web Services. Our CTO has built platforms for Homeland Security, the USDA, the FDA. So the engine that's under those hoods are also under Thrivors. So yay, tech. There it is. Now, thank you. So what I wanted to show you in the Thrivors platform is envision this is a patient-facing platform, and the value to the patient will become evident as I open it up. But also think from a business perspective, what we're operating in the space is, what is a patient doing beyond a clinical setting? What are the behaviors that they're engaging in that matter and drive outcomes? Because payers don't know what patients are doing beyond the clinical setting. Providers don't know. Pharma doesn't know, and they're eager to get this data because what a patient does to own their own recovery and their cancer journey, that matters. So here's a patient-facing platform. I'm on Wi-Fi, so be patient. I don't have this fancy cable stuff. All right, so when I look at the dashboard, I think of Larry, who had colon cancer, and I think of Nadia with breast cancer, and I think of Bob and Amy and Lisa and all the people that have been a huge part of inspiring this platform. And what we have done is created the things that they've asked for. So specifically, as a cancer exercise specialist, I wanted to recreate a similar experience that I can provide face-to-face, but in a digital health form. So imagine this is Larry, who has colon cancer, and he has good days and bad days, right? So he's rating today his energy is low and his pain is high, and an algorithm behind the scenes calculates a workout that's ideal for him in real time. So even though Larry's not having a great day, he still wants to do something. The element of feeling successful, even in the midst of a cancer journey, is such a key component. So we have images, we have video vignettes, and everyone in our video vignette is a real cancer survivor, and they'll see men, women, different ages, different ethnicities, different body types, and the purpose for that is to create a level of empathy on the part of the user. So everyone learns differently, so we have written instructions as well. The user can click through and make note of what they've completed. They can rate the exercise, so we start to learn their preferences. And we also have a communication tool where they can send a note out to a loved one. And then they would click through and go to the next exercise. Now let's say Larry's having a good day. Conversely, he could rate his energy high and his pain low. And again, a workout that's appropriate for him on that day would come forward. It'd be more challenging and it'd be more in line with what Larry needed. And what we create then is this database of information where a patient starts to correlate their pain and their energy with their activity and how they're feeling. So if you've had cancer, you know someone who's had cancer, you go back to the doctor after treatment every 3 months for a year, every 6 months for a year, until you graduate and go once every year. But people don't always remember how they're doing between each visit. And if you're in the medical world, I think you get like 8 to 12 minutes per patient. There's not a lot of time. So we want to equip the patient with their own story. Conversely, we can connect this data to EHRs and connect through an API, and we can also, the patient can email it through a PDF, they can print it. There's a way to get their data and their story to the people who need to know it. So we also look at other valuable pieces of the puzzle. Nutrition is huge. And we have a partner that has specializes in oncology, and the recipes they brought forward have what you would expect around nutrition, directions and ingredients. But then she also broke out the specific health benefits of each recipe. And then sometimes people just don't want to cook. They don't have the energy. Friends and family want to give something valuable. So we also have links to resources. And one of our national partners is called the Stay Healthy Zone. And they have 6,000 meals that are integrated with an AI component so that if you don't like Brussels sprouts, they're not going to be sending you Brussels sprouts recipes, right? So we have several ways for cancer patients to connect with others. They can connect through the community talk, which is much like a listserv. They can also connect with each other in a private support chat group. So one of our users, Nadia, asked that we create a platform for her where she could have a private support group with other people who have advanced cancer like she does. So we created the Inner Circle as a way to send files, images, and chats, and it's all private and internal. So when we think about going to the doctor's office after a cancer diagnosis, the doctor always has the big question, so how are you feeling, right? And so for us in the Thrivors platform, we want to give the patient more data to self-report. And so we have a symptom tracker that can be customized. So you imagine if Health Partners symptom tracker is different than Alina's, we can customize that. Or think about pharmacy. If a cancer patient's taking a very expensive drug that has specific side effects, we can list those side effects and help correlate side effects with activity and behaviors. Again, we're gathering insights beyond a clinical setting that brings value. And then answering, how are you feeling on the emotional side? We have an emotion tracker from Finland that's out of the University of Geneva research that is looking at 20 different emotions that have been tested across countries and are really showing the trends between positive and negative emotions and how that impacts outcomes. So when you look at the Thrivors platform, I want to know what resonates with you. Would you raise your hand and say, you know, I see that for our patients? Or would you say, I see that for our members in our insurance program? Or I see that for my loved one. I see that for me. So what resonates with you? So in closing, I want to share that right now, Thrivors is in the middle of an accelerator program in San Francisco called Launchpad Digital Health. It's hard, it's great, it's hard, it's great. But we're going to be well positioned for successful seed round funding after we complete that accelerator. So if you're an investor in the room and this resonates with you, talk to us. You can email me at Kathy@thrivors.com at any time. And I would want to say in closing, the next time someone says to you, cancer came to my house, please tell them about Thrivors.